Hey TJ, since you shared one of your favorite quotes with us, I thought perhaps I might share one of my favorite quotes with you. And it comes from Andrew Wiles. And in case you're not too familiar with who he is, I thought I might provide a little background. And I'm going to do this in a single shot, so hopefully it's not too horrible. Andrew Wiles is a British mathematician. He's most famous for solving Fermat's last theorem, and Fermat's last theorem was stated in the 1600s. And at the time Andrew Wiles came across it, it had been over 300 years and mathematicians still hadn't proven it, and the problem intrigued him immediately because it's a problem that can be easily understood, and it's stated as there does not exist integers a, b, and c such that a to the n plus b to the n equals c to the n, where n is an integer greater than 2. And Fermat was famous for writing in the margin of his judicial textbook. I have the most beautiful proof of this, but the margins of this page are too small to contain it, which maybe he thought he had a proof for, but it's extremely unlikely that he did, seeing as we had to create a whole branch of mathematics in order to even touch the problem. And so Andrew Wiles dedicated basically his work to this, and he got his PhD in mathematics, but when he was meeting with his advisor had recommended that he not go into modular theory, which is where he thought he could attack Fermat's last theorem, and instead go into ring theory. He ended up taking his PhD advisor's suggestion, thinking that he was having to basically give up on his dream of solving Fermat's last theorem. And then one day he came across the Taniyama-Shimura conjecture, and he realized that if he could prove a specific case of this, he could prove Fermat's last theorem. And so he began attacking this, and he did so in secrecy. And when he finally decided he had proven this, he had decided to speak at a conference. And if I remember this story correctly, I think it was a 3-day conference, and over the course of the first 2 days, people had kind of realized where he was headed with this. And so the third day was packed, and in the conclusion, I'm sure he had lost everyone. Everyone would have just been completely lost during it. But he stated, and now I've proven Fermat's last theorem. He ended up being wrong about that. There was a gap in his proof, and he ended up going back to it, and with one of his old students, he had they had filled the gap, and they finally did prove Fermat's last theorem. And that leads us to one of my favorite quotes, and that's where he said, "I know it's a rare privilege, but if one can really tackle something in adult life that means that much to you, then it's more rewarding than anything I can imagine." And I find that quote very inspirational, and I hope you do too. And you can kind of take away from it that just like Andrew Wiles, you can face insurmountable odds and think that the problem is unsolvable, but you kind of never know where life is going to lead you. And if it's something you're really passionate about, then you should continue on that pathway. And if it's not, just find what you are passionate about and attack that. Use your resources. But either way, I hope you don't stop making videos. I really enjoy your videos. I don't necessarily always agree with you, but your comedic edge, more than makes up for any disagreements I might have with you. And thank you for making so many great videos, so many videos I can enjoy. And I hope you find this inspirational.